Hello and welcome to the Insights Weekly from the Akashic. We're looking at the year 2023. Well, welcome to 2023. I'm your host, Jen Duchenne, and I'm using the Illuminating Journey Cards to discover what are key things we need to know about 2023. So let's get started. I've already shuffled the cards. So the first card that comes up is the 4. Soul Portal number 4. When I look at this card and I think about it in terms of 2023, it makes me think about getting into the inner aspects of ourself, right? There is so much going on here, a lot of red, a lot of very intense energy. It's bringing the depths of our souls, our desires up out into the open. We are called to show up differently, to look at what has been the past, perhaps the things that we clung to or are still clinging to, that, oh, this is the way it needs to be because this is the way it's been. I need to hold on to this memory so I don't lose myself. And this card is speaking to the freedom that happens when we are willing to let go of any ideas, thoughts, programming, beliefs, whatever it is that we're holding on to, memories that are in the way of us experiencing the desire of the soul, of the being, of all things to come together in a very new way. Feels very connected to nature, very connected to our nature. And there is so much here, outer space, galactic information, portals into other realms and worlds, looking at things, at rocks, at buildings, at all the things, the structures that we may have taken for granted or assumed to mean one thing, and realizing the depth of what's available to us. So we feel like, when I'm looking here, it almost feels like there is a detective energy here, an energy of really looking at what is valuable, the fire within the heart, the fire within the voice, this internal flame that wants to be lit, lighting up the temple of our soul, of our awareness, the way we have been living. So that feels like something that's really important and interesting enough, because 2023 is a 7 universal year, 2 + 2 + 3. 7 relates to us opening ourselves, like changing what we think, the past, to be more present with the soul of who we are, the wisdom of who we are, and bringing forward that stillness, that real fire within us that wants to be expressed and explored, and breaking free of the rigidity of the way we've done things. So this Soul Portal 4 is definitely very much related in how I see it to the 7. So the second card is liquid. And I feel that this is so incredibly important. It's so strange how these cards, I guess, how cards speak so well to bring the knowledge forward. So we have liquid, potion for motion. So we are entering the year of the water rabbit. There's a lot of energy in water that is happening. Something about water that's so important. One thing is that we are made of a lot of water, 60-something% water, molecularly close to 95% of water. So our systems run with water, electricity and water. And the idea of looking at water and how water operates is very connected to, excuse me, very connected to how we function well when we understand the flow and how to move with water and not try to stop it, right? Stop it from doing what it's doing. So understanding the nature without being swept along. So we have some autonomy for the journey we're on, and we're choosing something in the liquid energy. We're choosing the self or the expression of self here. So we are getting more familiar with the power of water and the power of how we move, right? Because here it's a potion for motion. So that's a tool. That's how we move through, is by choosing how we're going to move through this experience. That could be very watery. We do have in Western astrology, Saturn is moving into Pisces this year, in a couple of months. So that's a big deal, because Saturn is about structure. And when Saturn goes into the watery world of Pisces, that's a dissolving of old structures. So again, speaking about this, teaching us, that nothing, when you're in water and it's moving very fast, you often can't hold on to the things you're trying to hold on to. The water can just sweep it away. It can sweep you off your feet. It can move you into other places. It also teaches you about stillness, about not panicking as the water's moving, just surrendering. So there's a lot of that energy that is so important, because this year is very much about the presence, our presence of being here now, not holding on to the past, not trying to hold on to our version of the future, but to move into the space of being true in the moment. This is who I am. This is what I want to experience. This is what I want to shape and discern and choose and light that fire to my soul, where my soul is being lit and expressed and being brought forward. And how can liquid help me to let go of the old gunk, washing away what is being protective, maybe holding us stationary, keeping us imprisoned, that is now washing away and giving us a different point of view. Of course, we can get caught up in illusion regardless, right? So the discernment, the awareness, the having that relationship with water, with our bodies in a very different way is super important. And the third and final card, so the 25 soul portal. So there's a lot of blue here. I always like to look at the kind of how these cards work together, right? So there is some red in here, but there's a lot of blue. What's so fascinating is here we have this aspect of this figure, you perhaps, life, something you desire, your soul, either arriving or leaving in what could be a spaceship. So lit up by the light of this energy of transferring homes, in a sense, right? Whatever, if you arrive and this has been your home, or you leaving this and you're going, it's that moving away from what you have considered safe and true and forever, and that stuff moving away. And it also speaks to the autonomy, to, even in water has its own sense of self. And every drop of water, when separated from the whole, has its own sense of self. And that's what seems so important when we think about movement and about lighting that fire of the soul. And here we have that spaceship aspect again, right? Lighting the fire of the soul, of moving into a different relationship with water. On this one side, we have these pools of liquid that remind us that it's always there, right? It is a constant, but the way it behaves is not constant. So there is that change. So coming into the space to bringing yourself, your wisdom. The figure here holds a shield and the tree of life, like a modern kind of tree of life. So there is this aspect of stepping into new land, new ways, innovation, the unknown, that it's kind of like a butterfly, it unfolding wings, a new butterfly that has no idea because it's been a caterpillar and now it's a butterfly. Like, what do you do when you're becoming something different? And what is available? So the beauty of the past, right? We often look at the past and we focus on what is what we think is meaningful. And we slotted into a certain space. And this is telling me that we must look at the things that are what we think from the past or made in the past or whatever it is, or the present, etc., as they are, not as we want them to be, not in that illusion of this is what it means, but just look at it as it is, which makes me think about this as well. Looking at something as it is, not coated with all the kind of stories we have laid upon it. There is a lot of opportunity here to create something new. The structure of the idea of what we want to experience, not so much in that illusion or the idea, I'm going to build this amazing thing and it's going to, just astonish people, or whatever reason we have for building something, and shifting it to, I am creating something from the expression of who I am. And so shifting the dynamic, recognizing that this is a powerful aspect of who we're here to be, and the opportunity of this time that 2023 ushers in. And as we get more connected to our soul, there's more available to us. And of course, the 25 is a 7. So I already mentioned the 7. So I find that, again, interesting. We started with the 4, which can speak of structure. It speaks of a vast change, a rage of the ages in terms of breaking free, really thinking about how you light the fire of your soul and how you engage with all the elements that are within your sphere, what are in your world, and you work with them very differently. And with this liquid, allowing you to move through clear and shift your relationship to water, shift your relationship to how you show up in the world, how you express what you express, and why. Why are you expressing this in this way? Not from a place of I've got to hold on to all things, but because this is what is true for me. So there we have it. That's the message for 2023 from the Illuminating Journey Cards. I'm your host, Jen Duchenne. I'd love to hear if you have any questions about 2023 or any thoughts. Comment below and let me know. And I will see you soon.